Raw talks about both of those, and that's an opportunity to get in touch with your higher self. So let's start. I want to go let's go into the role of dreaming and the catalyst programming. That's what Raw calls it, catalyst programming. Okay. I like those words. The higher self can influence dreams and provide catalysts for learning and growth. It uses the experiences and knowledge from the mind-body-spirit complex totality to design these catalysts. So it's a designer too. That's a really important word. Ensuring they are appropriate for the individual spirit development.
Okay.
So it's designing, it's the game creator. It's creating stuff too for us. I think that's cool.
Let's be reasonable here. Mm-hmm. Your day while I'm awake is distracting.
Oh, 100%.
There's so much shit going on.
Constantly.
Thoughts, computers, people
Instagram,
yelling, car accidents, fucking everything going on. Hungry.
Yeah.
You will miss synchronicities.
Yes.
You will miss impulses because you haven't practiced. Mm-hmm. What's cool about the dream state is the body is at rest. Your eyes are not taking shit in. Mm. So at this point, the higher self's like, good.
Yes. Yeah.
I have the attention of the mind. Mm-hmm. I am going to send some really interesting impulses through. And in the dream state, this person's going to have to work with it. Now, you will work with it, whether you're consciously aware or not. If you can wake up and record what happened in your dream state.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot, but
this will afford you more time to continue to focus on the impulses that come through. Mm-hmm. Now, that whole time that I was sleeping, I've now captured this stuff. I've gotten all these new things that I had missed during my previous day brought back to me. Say, hey, you also need to learn from this. These are some things you missed. I'm going to give it to you in an infinite amount of different variants in your dream state. Hopefully one of these hits. Now, you have a higher odd, Jason, if you wake up and record that dream state and reflect on it further.
Yes.
You ever woken up from a dream sad, pissed, crying, anything, horny? I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Write it down. Write it down. Work with it.
Right.
It's given you that material because you missed it during the day, so it gave you at night, and then quickly capture it in your wake state.
Yeah, well, I've done this periodically on and off, like for years. The key for understanding for me, for the higher self, is fear. So most of my dreams are me fighting battles, me, chasing a serial killer, an intruder, which there's a new movie I got to show you the trailer for. It's like they said it's not a horror movie, it's a thriller with Nicolas Cage.
Nick Cage, dude.
But it has 100% Rotten Tomatoes. Every person on YouTube is like, they said it's the scariest movie of the decade, and it's better than Silence of the Lambs. It's about a serial killer and an FBI agent.
And Nick Cage is in it.
I got to show you this shit.
I'm all in.
I think it's called Long Legs or something like that. It's on the movie right now. It's in the movies right now. But I'm going to go see it with Leah here in the next day or two. But here's the thing that's really, really important. Why am I having it's so when I started doing what you had shared with me that years ago, so I started like writing my dreams down in my notes app on Apple, So I'm like, oh, here's a pattern.
Yes,
that's what you're saying.
It does it in patterns.
Yeah,
it's like humans are good at recognizing
so the
patterns.
higher self is like, oh, so then I'm like, so then Carl Jung said something about the dream state is. Tell yourself before you go to sleep that you want to understand all the symbols.
Yeah.
Because the language is symbols.
Language is symbols.
So then I started finding pentagrams, like these negative entity symbols. Then I started looking some of the symbols up. Like this, for some reason, the SS symbol would always show with the two lightning bolts.
Two lightning bolts?
Yeah. So I'm like, well, where does that come from? Well, they stole he stole like a lot of different, especially Himmler. He was like into the.
Do you want me to send you the symbol?
Ancient. Well, I already know. I studied everything.
But, okay, yeah.
I mean, I don't know all the Billy Meyer symbols, but. So I'm like, oh, here's a negative symbol. Oh, this symbol popped. Oh, this one's negative too. Oh, let me do it. So then the pattern is displaying.
Okay.
So then I'm like, what's the root? What's the root with all this? Well, one is separation. One is every person I meet is a threat.
Yeah, it's not good.
So that's not good. Yeah. And so I came up with that. This was a couple years ago. So every person's a threat. Every situation I come into is a threat. whether it's my work or and that propels me to do, it's cheap fuel and it can get me to where I need to go, because that's what, for my whole life, I was that way. It was like, fuck you, fuck this, fuck that. Yep. I'm going to do this shit. I'm going to fucking work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it just out of sheer will. But what was the synopsis around it was fear, self-centeredness,
divisiveness.
Yeah, exactly. Separation, all those things.
Defense all the time.
So when I began to understand that and integrate that, and then understanding Ra's teachings with the higher self in the past year and a half that I've been studying the higher self, then I began to have different dreams. Imagine that.
Oh, hey.
Why did I have different dreams?
Nice
because
job.
I'm evolving.
Yeah, you're integrating with this. Let's give you something else.
I mean, I would like to have dreams higher self with aliens that have 6 arms, and we want to do Caligula. The Roman.
Whoa.